President.
But as a woman, if you be more sufferers.
Shakespeare by the Sea's 24th season and tonight's production of Measure for Measure. We are thankful, as always, to our sponsors, the LA County Department of Arts and Culture, the Norris Foundation, and the LA City Department of Cultural Affairs. And thank you to all of you individual people who have been sending in your big fish contributions. We couldn't do it without you, so thanks.
Now, as you know, COVID has caused many challenges that we've all had to overcome. We've had to put in place procedures that are now part of all of our everyday lives: testing, masking, screening questions, and social distancing. The show has been rehearsed via Zoom, then we had 3 days together in person, culminating in tonight's live performance while strictly adhering to all safety protocols.
Yes, and we're also still reeling and dealing with the AB 5 bill, which has turned all of our Shakespeare by the Sea actors into employees, literally tripling our budget for them. Yes, so all of you that have become Shakespeare by the Sea Actor Fund donors, all of your proceeds from that or all of your donations from that go towards supporting the over 20 people that have been working on this show for the last couple of months. So thank you. And if you haven't joined the Actor Fund yet, please do so.
Now, we know that this is not the same as an in-person performance, but we're hoping that you will all agree that our monumental efforts to provide you with an annual Shakespeare by the Sea experience in a very different way have been worth the effort. Normally tonight, I would be telling you to go to concessions, go visit Mike, get a hot dog, buy some sweatshirts, t-shirts, coffee. We can't do that, but we hope that you are at home with your favorite snacks, watching us on your TV, and please do make a contribution to the General Fund or the Actor Fund in lieu of purchasing concessions.
Yes, all of the proceeds from that, of course, go towards keeping Shakespeare by the Sea accessible to all and still admission free. So thanks for watching this evening's performance. We hope you enjoy the show.
Aeschylus!
My lord.
The nature of our people, our city's institutions, and the terms for common justice you're as skillful in as art and practice hath enriched any that we remember. There's our commission from the which we would not have you warp. Call hither and say, bid come before us, Angelo. What figure of us think you he will bear? For you must know, we have with special soul elected him our absence to supply. Lent him our terror, dressed him with our love, and given his deputation all the organs of our own power. What think you of it?
If any in Vienna be of worth to undergo such ample grace and honor, it is Lord Angelo.
See where he comes?
Always obedient to your grace's will, I come to know your pleasure.
Angelo, there's a kind of character in thy life that to the observer doth thy history fully unfold. Hold, therefore, Angelo, in our remove be thou at full ourselves. Mortality and mercy in Vienna live in thy tongue and heart. Old Aeschylus, that's first in question, is thy secondary. Take thy commission.
Now, good my lord, let there be some more tests made of my metal before so noble and so great a figure be stamped upon it.
No more evasion. We have with 11 in prepared choice proceeded to you. Therefore, take your honors. So, Farewell. To the hopeful execution do I leave you of your commissions.
Yet give leave, my lord, that we may bring you something on the way.
May haste may not admit it. Once more, fare you well.
The heavens give safety to your purposes.
Lead forth and bring you back in happiness.
I thank you. Fare you well.
I shall desire you, sir, to give me leave to have free speech with you, and it concerns me to look into the bottom of my place. Power I have, but of what strength and nature I am not yet instructed.
'Tis so with me. Let us withdraw together, and we may soon our satisfaction have touching that point.
I'll wait upon your honor.
Oh, behold, behold, where Madam Mitigation comes. Now, we have purchased as many diseases under her roof as comes to
To $3,000 a year and more.
a French crown more.
Thou art always figuring diseases in me, but thou art full of error. I am sound.
Nay, not as one would say healthy, but so sound as things that are hollow. Thy bones are hollow, and piety hath made a feast of thee. Oh, how now? Which of thy hips has the most profound sciatica, huh?
Well. There's one yonder arrested and carried off was worth 5,000 of you all.
Who's that, I pray thee?
Marry, sir, that's Claudio. Signor Claudio.
Claudio to prison, say it isn't so.
Nay, but I know 'tis so. I saw him arrested, saw him carried away, and which is more, within these 3 days, his head to be chopped off.
But after all this fooling, I would it were not so. Art thou certain of this?
I am too sure of it. And it is forgetting Madame Giulietta with child.
Believe me, this may be. Now, he promised to meet me not 2 hours since, and he was ever precise in promise-keeping. Away, let's go learn the truth on it.
Thus, what with the war, what with the sweat, what with the gallows, and what with poverty, I am custom shrunk. How now? What's the news with you?
Yonder man is carried to prison.
Well, what has he done?
A woman,
But what's his offense?
groping for trouts in a peculiar river.
What, is there a maid with child by him?
No, but there's a woman with maid by him. You have not heard of the proclamation, have you?
What proclamation, man?
All houses in the suburbs of Vienna must be plucked down.
And what shall become of those in the city?
They shall stand for sea. They had gone down too, but that a wise burgher put in for them.
What shall all our houses of resort in the suburbs be pulled down?
To the ground, mistress.
I hear the change indeed in the Commonwealth. What shall become of me?
Fear not, you good counselors lack no clients. Though you change your place, you need not change your trade. I'll be your tapster still. Courage. There will be pity taken on you, you that have worn your eyes almost out in the service. You will be considered.
What's to do here, Thomas Taster? Let's withdraw.
Here comes Signor Claudio, led by the provost to prison.
Provost, why dost thou show me thus to the world? Bear me to prison where I am committed.
I do it not in evil disposition, but from Lord Angelo by special charge.
Thus can the demigod authority make us pay down for our offense by weight. The words of heaven, on whom it will, on whom it will not, so. Yet still 'tis just.
Now, Claudio! Whence comes this restraint?
From too much liberty, Lucio, liberty.
What's thy offense?
What but to speak of would offend again.
Is it murder?
No.
Lechery.
Call it so.
Away, sir, you must go.
Oh, one word, good friend. Lucio, a word with you.
100 and they'll do you any good. Is lechery so looked after?
Thus stands it with me. Upon a true contract, I got possession of Giulietta's bed. You know the lady, she is fast my wife. save that we do the denunciation lack of outward order. But it chances the stealth of our most mutual entertainment with character too gross is writ on Juliet.
With child, perhaps?
Unhappily, even so. And the new deputy now for the Duke awakes me all the enrolled penalties, which have, like unscoured armor hung by the wall, so long that 19 zodiacs have gone round and none of them been worn. And for a name now puts the drowsy and neglected act freshly on me. 'Tis surely for a name.
I warrant it is, and thy head stands so tickle on thy shoulders that a milkmaid, if she be in love, may sigh it off. Send to the Duke, appeal to him.
I have done so, but he's not to be found. I prithee, Lucio, do me this kind service. This day my sister should the cloister enter and receive her approbation. Acquaint her with the danger of my state. Employ her in my voice that she make friends to the strict deputy. Bid herself essay him. I have great hope for that in her youth there is a prone in speechless dialect such as movement. Besides, she hath prosperous art when she will play with reason in discourse, and well she can persuade.
I pray she may. I'll to her.
I thank you, good friend Lucio.
Within 2 hours.
Come, officer, away.
Oh, Holy Father, throw away that thought. Believe not that the dribbling dart of love can pierce a complete bosom. Why I desire thee to give me secret harbor hath a purpose more wrinkled and severe than the aims and ends of burning youth.
May your grace speak of it.
I have delivered to Lord Angelo, a man of stricture and firm abstinence, my absolute power and place here in Vienna. And he supposes me travel to Poland, for so I have strewn it in the common ear, and so it is believed. Now, pious sir, you'll demand of me why I do this.
Gladly, my lord.
We have strict statutes and most biting laws that for this 14 years I have let slip. So our decrees, dead to infliction to themselves, are dead. And liberty plucks justice by the nose. The baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum.
It rested in your grace to unloose this tied-up justice when you please, and it in you more dreadful would have seemed than in Lord Angelo.
I do fear too dreadful. Therefore, I have on Angelo imposed the office, who may, in ambush of my name, strike home. And to behold his sway, I will, as 'twere, a brother of your order, visit both prince and people. Therefore, I prithee, supply me with the habit, and instruct me how I may in person formally bear me like a true friar. Lord Angelo is precise. He stands at a guard with envy, scarce confesses that his blood flows, or that his appetite is more to bread than stone. Hence shall we see, if power change purpose, what our seemers be.
And have you nuns no farther privileges?
Are these not large enough?
Yes, truly. I speak not as desiring more, but rather wishing a more strict restraint upon the sisterhood, the votarists of St. Clair.
Peace ho within this place!
Who's that which calls?
It's a man's voice. I pray, gentle Isabella, answer, turn me the key and know his business of him. You may, I may not. You are yet unsworn. Once you have vowed, you must not speak with men, but in the presence of the prioress. And then if you speak with men, you must not show your face, or if you show your face, you must not speak with men.
Hello, nuns!
Here calls again, I pray you, peace and prosperity.
Who's that calls?
Well, hail, virgin! If thou beest as those cheek roses proclaim you are no less, I wonder, might you stead me and lead me to the sight of one Isabella, a novice of this place, and the fair sister of her unhappy brother Claudio?
Why her unhappy brother? Let me ask the rather, for I now must make you know I am that Isabella and his sister.
Oh, gentle and fair, your brother greets you. Not to be a weary with you, he's in prison.
Woe me, for what?
For that which if I might be his judge, he might receive his punishment and thanks. He hath got his friend with child.
Oh, sir, make me not your story.
It is true. I would not, though it is my familiar sin to play the lapwing in jest with tongue far from heart, play with all virgin soul. No, I hold you as a thing enskied and sainted by your renouncement, an immortal spirit to be spoken with in sincerity as with a saint.
do blaspheme the good in mocking me.
It is true. Punis and truth. 'Tis thus. Your brother and his lover have embraced. As those that feed grow full, as blossoming time that from the seedness the barren fallow brings to teeming voice, and even so her plenteous womb expresseth his full tilled and husbandry.
One with child by him. My cousin Juliet.
Ooh, is she a cousin?
Adoptedly. Schoolmates change their names by vain, though apt affection.
She it is.
Oh, let him marry her.
Well, this is the point. The Duke is very strangely gone from hence, and in his place governs one Lord Angelo, a man whose very blood is snow broth, and who never felt the wanton sting and motion of the senses. Now he hath picked him out a law under whose heavy sense your brother's life falls forfeit, arrests him on it, and follows close the rigor and the statute to make him example. Now, all hope is lost, unless you have, by the grace of your fair prayer, the ability to soften Angelo. And that's my pith of business betwixt you and your poor brother.
Doth he so seek his life?
I hath arrested him already, and as I hear, the provost hath a warrant for his execution.
Alas, alas, what poor abilities in me to do him good.
Now, say the power that you have.
My power. Alas, I doubt.
Now, our doubts are traitors and make us fear the good we oft might win by fearing to attempt. Go to Lord Angelo. Assay him. Let him learn that when women sue, men give like gods, but when they weep and kneel, all of their petitions are freely theirs as they themselves would owe them.
I will about it straight. No longer staying, but to give the mother notice of my affair, I humbly thank you. Commend me to my brother. Soon at night I'll send certain word of my success.
But speedily.
We must not make a scarecrow of the law, setting it up to fear the birds of prey, and let it keep one shape till custom make it their perch, and not their terror.
But let us be keen, and rather cut a little than fall and bruise to death. Alas, this gentleman who I would save had a most noble father. Let what your honor know, who I perceive to be most straight in virtue, whether you had not sometime in your life erred in this point which now you censure him and called the law upon you.
'Tis one thing to be tempted, Aeschylus, another thing to fall. I not deny the jury passing on the prisoner's life may, in the sworn 12, have a thief or two guiltier than him they try. What's open made to justice, that justice seizes. 'Tis very pregnant. The jewel that we find, we stoop and take it because we see it. But what we do not see, we tread upon and never think of it. You may not so extenuate his offense, for I have had such faults, but rather tell me when I that censure him do so offend. Let mine own judgment pattern out my death, and nothing come impartial. Madam, he must die.
Be it as your wisdom will.
Where's the provost?
Here, if you like, your honor.
See that Claudio be executed by 9 tomorrow morning. Bring him his confessor. Let him be prepared, for that's the utmost of his pilgrimage.
Well, heaven forgive him and forgive us all. Some rise by sin and some by virtue fall. Some run from breaks of ice and answer none, and some condemned for a fault alone.
If these be good people in a commonweal that do but use their abuses in common houses, I know no law. Bring 'em all.
Now, sir, what's your name? And what's the matter?
And it please your honor, I am the poor Duke's constable, and my name is Elbow, and I do lean upon justice, sir. And I do bring in here before your good honor 2 notorious benefactors.
Benefactors? Well, what benefactors are they? Are they not malefactors?
And it please your honor, I know not well what they are, but precise villains they are, that is certain, and void of all profanation in the world that good Christians ought to have.
Oh, comes off well. Here's a wise officer.
Go to. What quality are they of? Elbow is your name. Why dost thou not speak?
He cannot,
Elbow?
sir. He's out at elbow.
And what are you, sir?
He, sir, a tapster, sir, parcel bawd, one who serves a bad woman, whose house, as they say, was plucked down in the suburbs, who now professes of a hothouse, which I think is a very ill house.
How
too.
know you that?
By my wife, ma'am, whom I detest before heaven and your honor.
How, thy wife?
Hi, ma'am, whom I thank heaven is an honest woman.
Dost thou detest her therefore?
I say I detest myself also, as well as she, that this house, if it be not a bawd's house, 'tis a pity of her life, for it is a naughty house.
How dost thou know that, officer?
By my wife, ma'am, whom, if she were a woman cardinally given, would here be accused in fornication, adultery, and all uncleanliness there.
By the woman's means?
Marry, ma'am, by Mistress Overdone's means. But as she spit in his face, she defied him.
Ma'am, if it please your honor, this is not so.
Prove it before these varlets here, thou honorable man. Prove
Do
it.
you hear how he misplaces?
Ma'am, she came in great with child and longing, saving your honor's reverence, for stewed prunes. Ma'am, we had but two in the house, which at that very distant time stood, as it were, in a fruit dish, a dish of some threepence. Your honors have seen such dishes. They are not china dishes, but very...
Go to, no matter for the dish, sir.
Oh, no, indeed, ma'am, not of a pin. You are there in the right, but to the point, as I say, this Mistress Elbow being, as I say, with child and great-bellied, and longing, as I say, for prunes, and having but two in the dish. Master Froth, here. Here. This very man, having eaten the rest, as I said, and as I say, paying for them very honestly. For, as you know, Master Froth, I could not give you threepence again.
No, indeed.
Very well. You being then, if you be remembered, cracking the stones of the foresaid prunes.
Aye, so it is indeed.
Was done to Elbow's wife that he hath cause to complain of. Tell me what coming to what was done to her.
Oh, ma'am, your honor cannot come to that yet.
Oh, no, sir, nor I mean it not.
But, ma'am, you shall come to it by your honor's leave, and I beseech you, ma'am, look into Master Froth here, ma'am, a man of 80 pounds a year, whose father died at Hallow Mass. Was not at Hallow Mass, Master Froth.
All Holland Eve.
Why, very well then, I hope here be truth. He, ma'am, sitting in a lower chair. 'Twas in the bunch of grapes where indeed you have a delight to sit, have you not?
I have so, because it is an open room and good for winter.
Why, very well then, I hope here be truth.
This will last out a night in Russia when nights are longest there. I will take my leave and leave you to the hearing of the cause, hoping you'll find good cause to whip them all.
I think no less. Good morrow to your lordship. Now, sir, come on. What was done to Elbow's wife once more?
Once, ma'am, there was nothing done to her. Once.
I beseech you, ma'am, ask him what this man did to my wife.
I beseech your honor, ask me.
Well, sir, what did the gentleman to her?
I beseech you, ma'am. Look into this gentleman's face, ma'am, Master Froth. Look upon her honor. 'Tis for a good purpose. Doth your honor mark his face?
Aye, sir, very well.
Nay, I beseech you, mark it well.
Well, I do so.
doth your honor see any harm in his face?
Why, no.
I'll be supposed upon a book his face is the worst thing about him. Good then, if his face be the worst thing about him, how could Master Froth do the constable's wife? Any harm, I would know that of your honor.
He's in the right there, Constable. What say you?
First, and it please you, this house is a respected house. This fellow is a respected fellow, and he serves a respected woman.
By this hand, ma'am, his wife is a more respected person than any of us all.
Oh, thou liest, thou wicked caitiff. The time is yet to come that she has been respected with man, woman, or child.
Oh, ma'am, she was respected with him before he married with her.
Oh, which is the wiser here, justice or iniquity? Is this true?
Thou varlet, thou caitiff, thou wicked Hannibal! I respected with her before I was married to her. Prove it, thou wicked Hannibal, or I'll have my inaction of battery on thee.
Oh, if he took you a box of the ear, you might have your action of slander, too.
And I thank your good worship for it. What is your worship's pleasure that I should do with this wicked caitiff?
Well, truly, officer, because he has some offense in him, which thou would discover if thou couldst, let him continue in his courses till thou knowest what they are.
I thank you, your honor, for that. Thou seest, thou varlet, now what has come upon thee? Thou wicked varlet, thou art to continue now. Thou art to continue.
Where were you born, friend?
Here in Vienna, ma'am.
Are you of £80 a year?
Yes, and it please you, ma'am.
And what trade are you of, sir?
A tapster. A poor widow's tapster.
Thy mistress' name?
Mistress Overdone.
Has she had any more than one husband?
Oh, 9, ma'am. Overdone by the last.
9. Come hither to me, Master Froth. Master Froth, I would not have you acquainted with tapsters. They will draw you, Master Froth, and you will hang them. Now get you gone. Let me hear no more of you.
I thank your worship. For mine own part, I never go into any room in a tap house, but I am drawn in.
Oh, well, let it be no more. Master Froth, fare you well. Come you hither to me, Master Tapster. What's your name, Master Tapster?
Pompey.
What else?
Bum, ma'am.
Truth. Your bum is the greatest thing about you, so in the beastliest sense, you are Pompey the Great. Pompey. I think you were partly a bawd, Pompey, howsoever you color it in being a tapster, are you not? Come, tell me true. It shall be the better for you.
Truly, ma'am, I am a poor fellow that would live.
How would you live, Pompey? By being a bawd? What think you of the trade, Pompey? Is it a lawful trade?
If the law would allow it, ma'am.
The law will not allow it, Pompey, nor shall it be not allowed in Vienna.
Does your worship mean to geld and splay all the youth of the city?
No, Pompey.
Truly, ma'am, in my poor opinion, they will to it. If your worship will take order for the drabs and the knaves, you need not fear the bawds.
There is pretty orders beginning, I can tell you. It is but heading and hanging.
If you head and hang all that offend that way, but for 10 years together, you'll be glad to give out a commission for more heads. If this law hold in Vienna 10 year, I'll rent the fairest house in it after threepence a bay. If you live to see this come to pass, say Pompey told you so.
I thank you, good Pompey. And in requital for your prophecy, hark you, let me advise you, let me not see you here before me again upon any cause whatsoever, no, not for dwelling where you do, Pompey. I shall beat you to your tent, Pompey, and prove a shrewd Caesar to you. In plain dealing, Pompey, I will have you whipped. And so for this time, Pompey, fare you well.
I thank your worship for your good counsel. But I shall follow it as the flesh and fortune shall better determine. Whip me? No. No, let the carman whip his jade. The valiant heart's not whipped out of his trade.
Now, what's the matter, Provost?
Is it your will Claudio shall die tomorrow?
Did I not tell thee yea? Hast thou not order? Why dost thou ask again?
Lest I be too rash. Under your good correction, I have seen when after execution judgment hath repented o'er his doom.
Go to. Let that be mine. Do you your office, or give up your place, and you shall well be spared.
I crave your honor's pardon. What shall be done, sir, with the groaning Juliet? She is very near her hour.
Dispose of her to some more fitter place, and that with speed.
Here is the sister of the man condemned. Desires access to you.
Athea's sister.
I'm a good lord, a very virtuous maid, and to be shortly of the sisterhood, if not already.
Well, let her be admitted. See you the fornicatress be removed. Let her have needful but not lavish means. There shall be order for it.
Save your honor.
Stay a little while. You're welcome. What's your will?
I am a woeful suitor to your honor. Please but your honor hear me.
Well, what's your suit?
There is a vice that most I do abhor, and most desire should meet the blow of justice, for which I would not plead, but that I must, for which I must not plead, but that I am at war twixt will and will not.
Well, the matter.
I have a brother is condemned to die. I do beseech you, let it be his fault, and not my brother.
Condemn the fault, and not the actor of it. Why, every fault's condemned ere it be done. Mine were the very cipher of a function to find the faults whose fine stands in record and let go by the actor.
Oh, just, but severe law. I had a brother then. Heaven keep your honor.
You are too cold to him, I say.
Must he needs die?
Maiden, no remedy.
Yes, I do think that you might pardon him, and neither heaven nor man grieve at the mercy.
I will not do it.
But can you do it if you would?
Look, what I will not, that I cannot do.
But might you do it and do the world no wrong, if so your heart were touched with that remorse as mine is to him?
He's sentenced. 'Tis too late.
Too late? Why, no! I that do speak a word may call it back again. Well, believe this. No ceremony that to great ones longs, not the king's crown, nor the deputed sword, the marshal's truncheon, nor the judge's robe, become them with one half so good a grace as mercy does. If he had been as you and you as he, you would have slipped like him, but he like you would not have been so stern.
Pray you, be gone.
Oh, I would to heaven I had your potency and you were Isabella. Should it then be thus? No, I would tell what 'twere to be a judge and what a prisoner.
Ah, there's the vein. Touch him, touch him.
Your brother is a forfeit of the law, and you but waste your words.
Lass! Why, all the souls that were forfeit once, and he that might the vantage best have took found out the remedy. How would you be if he who is the top of judgment should but judge you as you are? Oh, think on that, and mercy then will breathe within your lips like man new made.
Be you content, fair maid? It is the law, not I, condemn your brother. Were he my kinsman, brother, or my son, it should be thus with him. He must die tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Oh, that's sudden. Spare him, spare him. He's not prepared for death. Even for our kitchens we kill the fowl of season. Shall we serve heaven with less respect than we do minister our gross selves? Good, good, my lord. Who is it that hath died for this offense? There's many have committed it.
The law hath not been dead, though it hath slept. Those many had not dared to do that evil if the first that did the edict infringe had answered for his deed.
Yet show some pity.
I show it most of all when I show justice. Be satisfied. Your brother dies tomorrow. Be content.
So you must be the first that gives this sentence, and he that suffers for it. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant.
'Tis well said!
Could great men thunder as Jove himself does, Jove would never be quiet. For every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder, nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven, thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolts split the unwedgeable and gnarled oak than the soft myrtle. But man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence plays such fantastic tricks before high heavens as makes the angels weep.
'Tis well, he's come round, 'tis well.
We cannot weigh our brother with ourself. Great men may jest with saints, 'tis wit in them, but in the less foul profanation.
Why do you put these sayings upon me?
Because authority, though it err like others, hath yet a kind of medicine in itself that skims the vice of the top. Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know that's like my brother's fault. If it confess a natural guiltiness such as is his, let it not sound a thought upon your tongue against my brother's life.
She speaks. It is such sense that my sense breathes with it. Fare you well.
Gentle my lord, turn back.
I will bethink me. Come again tomorrow.
Hark! How I'll bribe you.
How?
Aye, with such
Bribe me?
gifts as heaven shall share with you.
Well, come to me tomorrow.
Heaven keep your honor safe.
No more, 'tis well, away, away!
Amen. For I am that way going to temptation where prayer is crossed.
At what hour tomorrow shall I attend your lordship?
At any time forenoon.
Save your honor.
What's this? What's this? Is this her fault? Or mine? The tempter or the tempted? Who sins most, huh? Not she. Nor doth she tempt. But it is I that, lying by the violet in the sun, do as the carrion does, not as the flower, corrupt with virtuous season. Can it be that modesty may more betray our sense than woman's lightness? Having waste ground enough, shall we desire to raise the sanctuary and pitch our evils there? Ah, fie, fie, fie. What dost thou? And what art thou? Angelo. Dost thou desire her foully for those things that make her good? Let her brother live. Thieves for their robbery have authority when judges steal themselves. What, do I love her? That I desire to hear her speak again and feast upon her eyes? What is't I dream of? Oh. Cunning enemy, that to catch a saint with saints dost bait thy hook. Most dangerous is that temptation that doth goad us on to sin in loving virtue. Never could the strumpet, with all her double vigor, art and nature once stir my temper, but this virtuous maid subdues me quite. Ever till now, when men were fond, I smiled and wondered how.
provost? With your will, good friar.
Bound by my charity and blessed order, I have come to visit the afflicted spirits here in the prison. I pray you do me the common right to let me see them and make me know the nature of their crimes, and I may minister to them accordingly.
I would do more than that if more were needful. Oh, look, here comes one. A gentlewoman of mine who, falling in the flaws of her youth, hath blistered her report. She is with child, and he that got it, sentenced. A young man more fit to do another such offense than die for this.
Oh, when must he die?
As I do think tomorrow.
I have provided for you.
Stay a while, and you shall be conducted.
Repent you, fair one, of the sin you carry.
I do, and bear the shame most patiently.
Love you the man that wronged you?
Yes, as I love the woman that wronged him.
So then it seems your most offenseful act was mutually committed.
Mutually.
Well, then is your sin of the heavier kind than his?
I do confess it and repent it, Father.
I'll rest you there. Your partner, as I hear, must die tomorrow. And I am going with instruction to him. Grace go with you. Benedicite.
Must die tomorrow. Oh, injurious love that respites me in life, whose very comfort is still a dying horror.
'Tis pity of him.
When I would pray and think, I think and pray to several subjects. Heaven hath my empty words, was my invention, hearing not my heart anchors on Isabella. God in my mouth, as if I did but only chew his name, and in my heart, the strong and swelling evil of my conception. The state whereon I studied is, like a good thing being often read, grown sere and tedious. Yea, my vanity, wherein let no man hear me, I take pride. I could with boot change for an idle plume, which the air beats for vain. O place, O form, how often dost thou with thy case, thy habit, wrench awe from fools, and tie the wiser souls to thy false seeming. Blood, thou art blood. That's right, good angel on the devil's horn, 'tis now the devil's crest. And now, who's there?
One Isabella, the sister desires access to you.
Teach her the way. Oh, heavens, why does my blood thus muster to my heart, making both it unable for itself and dispossessing all my other parts of necessary fitness? So play the foolish throngs with one that swoons. Come all to help him, and so stop the air by which he should revive. How now, fair maid?
I am come to know your pleasure.
That you might know it would much better please me than to demand what 'tis. Your brother cannot live.
Even so, heaven keep your honor.
Yet may he live a while, and it may be as long as you or I. Yet he must die.
Under your sentence?
Yeah?
When, I beseech you, that in his reprieve, longer or shorter, he may be so fitted that his soul sicken not.
Fie! These filthy vices. It were as good to pardon him that hath from nature stolen a man already made, as to remit their saucy sweetness, that do coin God's image in stamps that are forbid.
'Tis set down so in heaven, but not in earth.
Say you so? Then I shall pose you quickly. Which had you rather? That the most just law now took your brother's life, or, to redeem him, give up your body to such sweet uncleanness as she that he hath stained?
Sir, believe this. I had rather give my body than my soul.
I talk not of your soul. A compelled sins stand more for number than for account.
How say you?
Nay, I'll not warrant that, for I can speak against the thing I say. Answer to this. I, now the voice of the recorded law, pronounce a sentence on your brother's life. Might there not be some charity, in sin, to save this brother's life.
Please you to do it. I'll take it as a peril to my soul. It is no sin at all, but charity.
Please you to do it, at peril of your soul, were equal poise, sin and charity.
That I do beg his life. If it be sin, heaven let me bear it. You granting of my suit, if that be sin, I'll make it my morn prayer to add it to the faults of mine, and nothing of your answer.
Nay, but hear me. Your sense pursues not mine. Either you are ignorant, or seem so, craftily, and that's not good.
Let me be ignorant and in nothing good, but graciously to know I am no better.
But mark me. To be received plain, I'll speak more gross. Your brother is to die.
So?
And his offense is so, as it appears, accountant to the law upon that pain.
True.
I admit no other way to save his life, as I subscribe not that, nor any other, but in the loss of question. That you, his sister, find in yourself desired of such a person whose credit with the judge, or own great place, could fetch your brother from the manacles of the all-binding law, and that there were no earthly mean to save him, but that either you must lay down the treasures of your body to this supposed, or else to let him suffer, what would you do?
As much for my poor brother as myself. That is, were I under the terms of death, the impression of keen whips I'd wear as rubies, and strip myself to death as to a bed that longing ere I've been sick for, ere I'd yield my body up to shame.
Then must your brother die?
And 'twere the cheaper way. Better that a brother die at once than a sister in redeeming him should die forever.
Were not you then as cruel as the sentence that you have slandered so?
Ignominy and ransom and free pardoner of two houses. Lawful mercy is nothing kin to foul redemption.
You seemed of late to make the law a tyrant, and rather prove the sliding of your brother a merriment than a vice.
Give me pardon. It all falls out to have what we would have, we say not what we mean. I something do excuse the thing I hate for his advantage that I dearly love.
We are all frail.
Else let my brother die, if not a fettery, but only he owe and succeed thy weakness.
Nay, women are frail too.
Aye, as the glasses where they view themselves, which are as easy broke as they make forms. Women, help heaven. Men mar their creation in profiting by them. Nay, call us 10 times frail, for we are soft as our complexions are, and credulous to false prints.
I think it well. And from this testimony of your own sex, since I suppose we are made to be no greater than faults may shake our frames, let me be bold. I do arrest your words. Be as you are, that is a woman. If you be more, you're none. If you be one as you are, well expressed by all external warrants, show it now by putting on the destined livery.
Oh, I have no tongue but one. Gentle, my lord, let me entreat you speak the former language.
Plainly conceive, I love you.
My brother did love Juliet, and you tell me he shall die for it.
He shall not, Isabella, if you give me love.
I know your virtue have a license in it, which seems a little fouler than it is to pluck on others.
Believe me, on mine honor, my words express my purpose.
Oh, little honor to be much believed, and most pernicious purpose. Seeming. I will proclaim thee, Angelo, look for it. Sign me a present pardon for my brother, or with an outstretched throat I'll tell the world aloud what man thou art.
Who will believe thee, Isabel? My unsoiled name, the austereness of my life, my vouch against you, and my place in the state will so your accusation overweigh that you shall stifle in your own report and smell of calumny. I have begun, and now I give my sensual race the rein. Fit thy consent to my sharp appetite. Lay by all nicety and malicious blushes that banish what they sooth are. Redeem thy brother by yielding up thy body to my will, or else he must not only die the death, but thy unkindness shall his death draw out to lingering sufferings. Answer me tomorrow, or by the affection that now guides me most, I'll prove a tyrant to him. As for you, say what you can. My false or ways your true.
To whom should I complain? Did I tell this? Who would believe me? Oh, perilous mouths that bear in them one and the self-same tongue, either of condemnation or of proof, bidding the law make curtsy to their will, looking both right and wrong to the appetite to follow as it draws. I'll to my brother. Though he hath fallen by prompture of the blood, yet he hath in him such a mind of honor that had he 20 heads to tender down on 20 bloody blocks, he'd yield them up before his sister should her body stoop to such abhorrent pollution. Then Isabel live chaste and brother die. More than our brother is our chastity. I'll tell him yet of Angelo's request and fit his mind to death for his soul's rest.
So then you hope for pardon from Lord Angelo.
The miserable have no other medicine but only hope. I have hope to live and am prepared to die.
Be absolute for death. Either death or life shall thereby be the sweeter. Reason thus with life. If I do lose thee, I do lose a thing that none but fools would keep. A breath thou art, servile to all the sky influences, and thus his habitation where thou keepst hourly afflict. Merely thou art death's fool. For him thou laborest by thy flight to shun, yet runs toward him still. Thou art not noble, for all the accommodations that thou bearest are nursed by baseness. Thou art by no means valiant, for thou dost fear the soft and tender fork of the poor worm. Thy best of rest is sleep, and that thou oft provokest, yet grossly fears thy death, which is no more. Happy art thou not. What thou hast not still thou strives to get, and what thou hast forgettest. Thou art rich, thou art poor. For like an ass whose back with ingots bows, thou bearest thy heavy riches, but a journey and death unloads thee. Friend hast thou none. For thine own babes who do call thee sire, the mere effusion of thy proper loins, do curse the gout, the serpico, and the rheum for ending thee no sooner. What's yet in this that bears the name of life? Yet death we fear that make these odds all even.
I humbly thank you. To sue to live, I find I seek to die, and seeking death, find life. Let it come on.
What ho! Peace here, grace and good company.
Oh, sir, come in. The wish deserves a welcome.
Dear sir, ere long I shall visit you again.
Most holy sir, I thank you.
My business is a word or two with Claudio.
You're very welcome. Look, senor, your sister's here.
Provost, a word with you.
As many as you please.
Bring me to hear them speak where I may be concealed.
Now, sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall be in everlasting leisure. Therefore, your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
Is there no remedy?
None. But such a remedy as to save a head would cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There's a devilish mercy in the judge. If you'll implore it, that will free your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Aye, just perpetual durance, a restraint, though all the world's vastity you had, to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
Oh, in such a one as you consenting to it, would bark your honor from that trunk you bear and leave you naked.
Let me know the point!
Oh, I do fear thee, Claudio. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride, and hug it in mine arms.
There spake my brother. There my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, you must die. You are too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy is yet a devil.
The Prinzy Angelo.
Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity that thou mightst be freed?
Oh, heavens, it cannot be!
Yes, he would give it thee. from this rank offense, so to offend him? Still, this night's the time I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Oh, thou shalt not do it!
Oh. Were it but my life, I'd throw it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin.
Thanks, dear Isabella.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he affections in him that thus can make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin, or of the deadly seven, it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he being so wise, why would he for the momentary trick be perdurably fined? Oh, Isabella!
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shamed life a hateful.
Aye, but to go, but to die, and go we know not where. To lie in cold obstruction and to rot. This sensible warm motion to become a needed clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in thrilling region of thick ribbed ice. To be imprisoned in the viewless winds, and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world, or to be worse than worst, of those that lawless and in certain thoughts imagine hourly 'tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life, nature dispenses with a deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
Oh, you beast! Oh, faithless coward! Oh, dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is not a kind of incest to take life from thine own sister's shame? What should I think? Heaven shield my mother played my father fair, for such a warped slip of wilderness never issued from his blood. Take my defiance, die, perish. If might by bending down reprieve thee from thy fate, it should proceed, I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, no word to save thee.
Nay, hear me,
Isabel. Five! Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bawd. 'Tis best thou diest quickly.
Oh, hear me, Isabella.
Vouchsafe a word, young sister.
What is your
One
will?
word.
What is your will?
Might you dispense with your leisure, I would by and by have some speech with you. The satisfaction I would require is likewise your own benefit.
I have no superfluous leisure. My stay is stolen out of other affairs, but I will attend your lordship.
Son, I have overheard what hath passed between you and your sister. Angelo had never the purpose to corrupt her, only he hath made an essay of her virtue to practice his justice with the disposition of natures. I am confessor to Angelo. I know this to be true. Therefore prepare yourself to death. Go to your knees and make ready.
Well, let me ask my sister pardon. I am so out of love with life that I will sue to be rid of it.
Rest you there. Farewell. The hand that hath made you fair hath made you good. The assault that Angelo hath made to you, fortune hath conveyed to my understanding, and but that frailty hath examples for his falling, I should wonder at this Angelo. But what will you do to content this deputy and to save your brother?
I am now going to resolve him. I had rather my brother die by the law than my son be unlawfully born. Oh, but how is the good Duke deceived in Angelo? If ever he return and I can speak to him, I will open my lips in vain or discover his government.
That shall not be much amiss. But as the matter now stands, he will avoid your accusation. He made trial of you only. Therefore fasten your ear on my advisings. I do make myself believe you may most uprighteously do a poor, wronged maid a merited benefit. Redeem your brother from the angry law. Do no stain to your own gracious person, and well please the absent Duke, if peradventure he shall ever return to have a hearing of this business.
Let me hear you speak farther. I have spirit to do anything that appears not foul in the truth of my spirit.
Virtue is bold and goodness never fearful. Have not you heard speak of one Mariana, the sister of Frederick, the great soldier who miscarried at sea?
I have heard of the lady, and good words went with her name.
Well, she should this Angelo have married. It was affianced to her by oath, the nuptial appointed, between which time of the contract and limit of solemnity her brother Frederick was wracked at sea, having in that perished vessel the dowry of his sister. Mark, how heavily this befell the poor gentlewoman. There she lost a noble and renowned brother. In his love towards her, always most kind and natural. With him, the portion and sinew of her wealth, her marriage dowry, with both her competent husband, this well-seeming Angelo.
Can this be so? Did Angelo so leave her?
Oh, left her in her tears and dried not one of them with his comfort.
Oh, what corruption in this life that it will let this man live! But how out of this can she avail?
This forename maid hath yet in her the continuance of her first affection. Go you to Angelo, answer his requiring with a plausible obedience. Agree to his demands to the point, only refer yourself to this advantage. Firstly, your time with him may not be long, that the time answer to shadow and silence, and the place answer to convenience. This being granted, and now follows all, we shall advise this wronged maid to go in your place. If the encounter acknowledge itself hereafter, it may compel him to her recompense. And hereby this is your brother saved, your honor untainted, the poor Mariana advantaged, and the corrupt deputy scaled. What think you of it?
The image of it gives me content already, and I trust it will grow to a most prosperous perfection.
Well, it lies much in your holding up. Haste you speedily to Angelo. If for this night he entreat you to his bed, give him promise of satisfaction. I will presently to St. Luke's. There at the moated grange resides this dejected Mariana. At that place call upon me, and dispatch with Angelo that it may be quickly.
I thank you for this comfort. Fare you well, good father.
There be no remedy for it, that thou must needs buy and sell men and women like beasts. We shall have all the world drink brown and white bastard.
Oh, heavens, what stuff is here?
Come your way, sir. Bless you, Father Friar.
And you, good brother father, I pray, sir, what offense hath this man made you, sir?
He, sir? He hath offended the law. And we think he's a thief, too, for we have found upon him a strange picklock.
Oh, I spy comfort. I cry bail. Here's a gentleman, and a friend of mine.
How now, Pompey? At the wheels of Caesar? Art thou led in triumph? I'm going to prison, Pompey.
Oh, yes, faith, sir.
Why, 'tis not amiss. Farewell. Go, say I sent thee thither, Pompey. For debt, Pompey, or how?
Oh, for being a bawd. For being a bawd.
Oh, why then, imprison him, if imprisonment be the due of a bawd, for bawd is he certain. Oh, and of antiquity, too. Bawd. Farewell, Pompey. Commend me to the prison, Pompey. Oh, you shall play good husband now, Pompey. You shall keep the house.
I hope, sir, your good worship will be my bail.
No, Pompey, that will I not. That is not the where. I shall pray, Pompey, for the increase of your bondage. Bless you, Friar.
Come your way, sir.
You will not bail me, then, sir?
Then, nor now, Pompey. I do trust it, Pompey. What news, Friar? What news? Go to kennel, Pompey, go. What news, Friar? What news of the Duke?
Oh, I know none. Can you tell me of any?
Well, some say he is with the Emperor of Russia. Oh. Others some that he is in Rome. But where is he, think you?
Oh, I know not where, but wheresoever I wish him well.
It was a mad, fantastical trick of him to steal from the state and usurp the beggary he was not born to. Lord Angelo governs it well in his place. It puts transgressions to it.
He does well in it.
A little more lenity toward lechery would do no harm in him. Somewhat too much crab that way, Fry.
It is too general a vice, and severity must cure it.
You know, they say this Angelo was not got between man and woman in this downright way of creation.
Well, how should he be made then, sir?
Well, some say that a sea maid spawned him. Others some that he was got between two stockfishes. But it is certain, when he makes water, his urine is congealed ice. Now this I know to be true.
You are pleasant, sir, and speak apace.
Why, what a ruthless thing is it in him for the rebellion of a codpiece to take away the life of a man, Would the old duke that is absent have done this? Ere he'd have hanged a man for the getting of a bastard, he'd have paid for the nursing of 1,000. Now, the old duke knew the service. Now, he had some feeling for the sport, and that instructed him to mercy.
I never heard the absent duke much detected for women. He was not inclined that way.
Oh, sir, you are deceived.
'Tis not possible.
Oh, the old duke? Sir, you're beggar of 50, and his use was to put a ducat in her clack dish. Oh, sir, the duke had crotchets in him, and he would be drunk, too, of this, let me inform you.
You do him wrong, Shirley.
Sir, I was an inward of his. A very shy fellow was the duke, and I believe I know the cause of his withdrawing.
Pray, sir, what was the cause?
No, pardon. 'Tis a secret must remain locked within the teeth and the lips, but I will let you understand this. The greater rank of the file held him to be quite wise.
Wise? Why, no question, but he was.
A very superficial, unweighing fella.
This is envy in you, folly or mistaking.
Sir, I know the Duke and I love him.
Love talks with better knowledge, and knowledge with dearer love.
Oh, come, sir, I know what I know.
I can hardly believe that, since you know not what you speak. But if ever the Duke returns, our prayers are he may. Let me beg you to make your answer before him. Your name, sir?
Oh, sir, my name is Lucio, well known to the Duke.
Oh, he shall know you better, sir, if I may live to report you.
Come, I fear you not. But no more of this. Canst thou tell if this Claudio died tomorrow? No.
Why should he die, sir?
Why, sir, he is arrested for untrussing. Fare thee well, friar. Prithee, pray for me. Now, I say to thee again, the Duke would eat mutton on a Friday. He's not past it, and I will say to you now, he would mouth with a beggar, though she smelled of brown bread and garlic. Go, say I said so.
Come, away with you to prison.
My lady, be good to me. Your honor is accounted a merciful lady, good my lady.
Double and treble admonition, and still forfeit in the same kind. This would make mercy swear and play the tyrant.
A bond of 11 years continuance. May it please your honor.
My lady, this is one Lucio's information against me. Mistress Kate Keepdown was with child by him in the Duke's time. He promised her marriage. His child is 1.25 years old, come Philip and Jacob. I have kept it myself, and see how he goes about to abuse me.
Now that fellow is a fellow of much license. Let him be brought before us. Away with her to prison. Oh, no, go to. No more words. Provost. My brother Angelo will not be altered. Claudio must die tomorrow. Let him be furnished with divines and with all charitable preparation.
So please you, this friar hath been with him and advised him for the entertainment of death.
Good even, good father.
Bliss and goodness on you.
Of whence are you?
Out of this country. I pray you, ma'am, what disposition was the Duke?
The one who, above all other strifes, contended especially to know himself.
What pleasure was he given to?
Rather rejoicing to see another merry than merry at the thing which professed to make him rejoice. A gentleman of all temperance. But leave we him to his events with the prayer they may prove prosperous. I would desire to know how you find Claudio prepared. I've been made to understand you lend him visitation.
Oh, he professes to have received no sinister measure from his judge, but most willingly humbles himself to the determination of justice, and now is he determined to die.
But you have paid the heavens your function, and the prisoner the very debt of your calling. I have labored for this poor gentleman to the very shore of my modesty, but his brother justice I have found so severe that he hath forced me indeed to tell him he is justice.
Well, if his own life answer the straightness of his proceeding, it shall become him well, wherein if he chance to fail, he hath sentenced himself.
I am going to visit the prisoner. Fare you well.
Peace be with you.
Take those lips away that so sweetly were forsworn, and those eyes, the break of day, lights that to mislead the morn. But my kisses bring again seals of love, but sealed in vain. Sealed in vain.
Cry you mercy, friar, and well could wish you had not found me here so musical. Let me excuse me and believe me, so my mirth it much displeased, but pleased my woe.
Oh, 'tis good, though music oft hath such a charm to make bad good and good provoke to harm. I pray you, hath anybody inquired for me here today? Much upon this time have I promised here to meet.
You have not been inquired after. I have sat here all day.
Oh, I do constantly believe you. The time is come even now. I shall crave your forbearance a little. Maybe I will call upon you anon for some advantage to yourself.
I am always bound to you.
Very well met, and welcome. What news from this good deputy?
He hath a garden circummured with brick, whose western side is with a vineyard backed, and to that vineyard is a planched gate that makes its opening with this bigger key. This other doth command a little door that from the vineyard to the garden leads. There have I made my promise upon the heavy middle of the night to call upon him.
What shall you on your knowledge find this way?
I have taken a due and wary note upon it, with whispering and most guilty diligence. In action, all the pretext, he did show me the way twice over.
Are there no other tokens between you agreed concerning her observance?
No, none, but only the repair of the dark, and that I have possessed him, my stay may be but brief. For I have made him know I have a servant comes with me along, who stays upon me, whose persuasion is I come about my brother.
'Tis well borne up. I have not yet made known a word of this to Mariana. What all within, come forth! I pray you, be acquainted with this maid. She comes to do you good.
I do desire the like.
Do you trust that I respect you?
Good friar, I know you do and have found it.
Take then this your companion by the hand who hath a story ready for your ears. I will attend your leisure, but make haste. The vaporous night approaches.
Will please you walk aside?
Place and greatness. Millions of false eyes are stuck upon thee. Volumes of report run with these false and most contrarious quest upon thy doings.
What?
Thousand escapes of wit make thee father of their idle dreams and rack thee in their fancies. Welcome, how agreed?
She'll take the enterprise upon her father if you advise it.
Oh, 'tis not my consent, but my entreaty too.
Oh, little have you to say when you depart, but soft and low, remember now my brother.
Fear me not.
Nor, gentle daughter, fear you not at all. He is your husband on a pre-contract. To bring you thus together, 'tis no sin, sith that the justice of your title doth flourish his deceit. Come, let's go. Our corn is to reap, but yet the tithes to sow.
Come hither, Sarah! Can you cut off a man's head?
If the man be a bachelor, ma'am, I can. If he be a married man, he's his wife's head, and I can never cut off a woman's head.
Come to, sir, leave me your snatches, and yield a direct answer. Tomorrow morning are to die Barnardine and Claudio. Here is in our prison a common executioner who in his office lacks a helper. If you will take it on you to assist him, it will redeem you of your If not, you will have your full time of imprisonment and your deliverance with an unpitied whipping, for you have been a notorious bawd.
Ma'am, I have been an unlawful bawd time out of mind, but yet I will be content to be a lawful hangman. I would be glad to receive some instruction from my fellow partner.
But how? Abortion? Where's abortion? There!
Ah! Do you call, ma'am?
Sarah, here is a fellow will help you in your execution tomorrow. He hath been a bawd.
A bawd, ma'am? Fie upon him. He will discredit our mystery.
Go to, sir. You weigh equally. A feather will turn the scale.
Pray, sir, for your good favor, for surely a good favor you have, but that you have a hanging look. Do you call, sir, your occupation a mystery?
Aye, sir. A mystery.
Painting, I have heard say, is a mystery, and your whore, sir, being members of my occupation, using painting to prove my occupation a mystery. But what mystery there should be in hanging, if I should be hanged, I cannot imagine.
Sir, it is a mystery.
Proof?
Every true man's apparel fits your thief. If it be too little for your thief, your true man thinks it big enough. If it be too big for your thief thinks it little enough. So every true man's apparel fits your thief.
Are you agreed?
Ma'am, I will serve him, for I do find your hangman is a more penitent trade than your bawd. He doth oftener ask forgiveness.
You, Sarah, provide your block and your axe tomorrow, 4 o'clock.
Come on, bawd. I shall instruct thee in my trade. Follow.
I do desire to learn, sir, and I hope if you have occasion to use me for your own turn, you shall find me are. For truly, sir, for your kindness, I do owe you a good turn.
Call hither Barnardine and Claudio. One has my pity, not a jot the other being a murderer, though he were my brother. Look, here is the warrant, Claudio, for thy death. It is now dead midnight, and by 8 tomorrow thou must be made immortal. Where's Barnardine?
As fast locked up in sleep as guiltless labor when it lies starkly in a traveler's bones. He will not wake.
Who can do good on him? Well, go prepare yourself. Welcome, Father.
The best and wholesome spirits of the night envelop you, good provost. Who called here of late?
None since the curfew rung.
Not Isabel.
No.
Oh, they will then, ere it be long.
What comfort is for Claudio.
There's some in hope.
It is a bitter deputy.
Oh, not so. His life is paralleled even with the great line and stroke of his justice.
Haply you something know, yet I believe there comes no counterman. Here is his lordship's woman.
My lord hath sent you this note, and by me further charges you that you swerve not from the smallest article of it, neither by time, matter, or any circumstance. Good morrow, for as I take it, it is almost day.
I shall obey him.
Now, bros, what news?
I told you. Angelo, belike thinking me remiss in mine own office, awakens me with this unwanted putting on. I think strangely, for he hath not used it before.
Well, pray, let's hear it.
Whatsoever you may hear to the contrary, let Claudio be executed by 4 of the clock, and in the afternoon Barnardine, For my better satisfaction, let me have Claudio's head sent me by 5. Let this be duly performed with a thought that more depends on it than we must yet deliver. Thus fail not to do your office, as you will answer it at your peril. What say you to this, sir?
What is that Barnadine who's to be executed in the afternoon?
A man that apprehends death no more fearfully than a drunken sleep. Careless, reckless, and fearless of what's past, present, or to come. Insensible of mortality, and desperately mortal.
He wants advice.
He will hear none.
More of him anon. There's written in your brow, Provost, honesty and constancy. If I read it not correctly, my ancient skill beguiles me. But in the boldness of my cunning, I will lay myself in hazard. Claudio, whom here you have warrant to execute, is no greater forfeit of the law than Angelo, who has sentenced him. To make you understand this in a manifested effect, I crave but 4 days' respite, for the which you are due me both a present and a dangerous courtesy.
I pray, sir, in what?
In the delaying death.
Alack, how may I do so, having the hour limited and an express command to have his head in view of Angelo? I make my case as Claudio's to cross this in the smallest.
Well, by the vow of mine order, I warrant you, if my advice may be your guide, let this Barnadine be this morning executed and his head sent to Angelo.
Angelo has seen them both and will discover the favor.
Oh, death's a great disguiser. And you may add to it. Shave the head and tie the beard. Say it was a desire of the penitent to be so bared before his death.
Pardon me, good friar. It is against my oath.
Were you sworn to the Duke or to the deputy?
To him and his substitute.
Look you here, Provost. Here is the hand and seal of the Duke. You know the character, I doubt not, and the signet is not unknown to you.
I know them both.
The contents of this is the return of the Duke. You shall overread it at your leisure, where you shall discover that within 2 days he shall be here. Now this is the thing that Angelo knows not, for he this very day receives letters of a strange tenor, perchance the Duke's death, perchance entering into some monastery, but by chance nothing of what is here writ. Oh, put not yourself into amazement how these things should be. All difficulties are easy when they are but known. Send for your executioner and off with Barnadine's head. I will give him a present shrift and advise him to a better place. Yet you are amazed, but this will absolutely resolve you. Oh, come, oh wait, it is almost clear dawn.
Sirrah, bring Barnadine hither.
Master Barnadine, you must rise and be hanged, Master Barnadine.
What ho, Barnadine?
A box on your throats. Who makes that noise there?
Your friend, sir. The hangman. You must be so good, sir, to rise and be put to death.
Are you rogue? I am sleeping.
Oh.
Tell him he must awake, and that quickly, too.
Pray, Master Barnadine, awake till you are executed and sleep afterwards.
Go into him and fetch him out.
He is coming, sir. He is coming. I hear his straw rustle.
Is the axe upon the block, Sirrah?
Very ready, sir.
Oh, now, poor son. What's the news with you?
Truly, sir, I desire you to clap into your prayers, for look you, the warrant's come.
You rogue. I've been drinking all night. I'm not fitted for it.
Oh, the better, sir, for he that drinks all night and is hanged betimes in the morning may sleep the sounder all the next day.
Here comes your ghostly father now. Do we just now, think you?
Sir, induced by my charity and hearing how swiftly you are to depart, I've come to advise you, comfort you, and pray with you.
Pray not I. I've been drinking all night, and I need more time to prepare me, or they shall beat my brains out with billets. I do not consent to die today, that's certain.
No, but you must, and therefore I beseech you, look forward on the journey.
I swear I will not die today for any man's persuasion.
Nay, but hear me, sir.
Not a word. If you have something to say, come to my ward. For that, I will not today.
Unfit to live or die. Oh, gravel heart. After him, fellows, bring him to the block.
Now, sir, how do you find the prisoner?
A creature unprepared, unmeet for death, and to transport him in the mind he is, were damnable.
Here in our prison, there died this morning of a cruel fever one Ragazine, a most notorious pirate, a man of Claudio's years, his head and beard just of his color. What if we were to omit this reprobate till he were well inclined, and satisfy the deputy with the visage of one Ragazine, the more the like to Claudio?
Oh, 'tis an accident that heaven provides. Dispatch it presently.
I will, good father, presently. But Barnardine must die this afternoon, and how shall we continue Claudio to save me from the danger if he might be discovered?
Oh, let this be done. Put them in secret holds, both Barnardine and Claudio. Ere twice the sun has made his journal greeting to the under generation, you shall find your safety manifest.
I am your free dependent.
Dispatch it presently and send the head to Angelo. Now will I write letters to Angelo, whose contents shall witness that I am near at home. And by great injunction I am bound to enter publicly. Him I'll desire to meet me the consecrated fount a league below the city. And from thence, by cold gradation and well-balanced form, we shall proceed with Angelo.
Here's the head. I will carry it myself.
Convenient, is it? Make a swift return, for I would commune with you of such things that want no ear but yours.
I'll make all speed.
He's coming here.
The tongue of Isabella. She's come to know if yet her brother's pardon be come hither. But I will keep her ignorant of her good, to make her heavenly comforts of remorse when 'tis least expected.
Oh, by your leave.
Good morning to you, fair and gracious daughter.
The better given by so holy a man. Hath yet the deputy sent my brother's pardon?
He hath released him, Isabel, from the world. His head is off and sent to Angelo.
Nay, but it is not so.
It is no other. Show your wisdom, daughter, and your close patience.
Oh, I will chew him and pluck out his eyes!
You shall not be admitted to his sight.
Oh, unhappy Claudio! Wretched Isabel! Oh, injurious world! Most damned Angelo!
This nor hurts him, nor profits you a jot. Forbear it, therefore, give your cause to heaven. Mark what I say, which you shall find by every syllable of faithful verity. The Duke comes home tomorrow. Nay, dry your eyes. One of our convent and his confessor gives me this instance. Already he hath carried a notice to Aeschylus and Angelo to meet him at the gates there to give up their power. If you can, pace your wisdom in that good path that I would wish it go. You shall have your bosom on this wretch. Graces of the Duke, revenges to your heart, and general honor.
I am directed by you.
This letter, then, to Friar Peter give. 'Twas that he sent me of the Duke's return. Say by this token I desire his company at Mariana's house tonight. Her cause and yours I'll perfect him withal, and he shall bring you before the Duke, and to the head of Angelo accuse him home and home. For my poor self I am combined by a sacred vow and shall be absent. When you quickly this letter, nay, command these fretting waters from your heart, please. Who is here?
Good morrow, Fry. Where's the provost?
No within, sir.
Oh, pretty Isabella, I'm pale at mine heart to see thine eyes so red. Yet they say the Duke returns tomorrow. By my troth, Isabel, I loved your brother. If the old fantastical Duke of Dark Corners had been here, he'd have lived.
Sir, The Duke is marvelous little beholding to your stories, but the best is he lives not in them.
Oh, sir, you know not the Duke so well as I do. He's a better woodman than thou takest him for.
Well, you'll answer for this one day. Fare you well.
Nay, tarry, I shall go with you. I can tell you pretty tales of the Duke.
Thou hast told me too many of them already. If they be true, if not true, none were enough.
I was once before him for getting a maid with child.
Did you such a thing?
Yes, married did I, but I would fain forswear it, else they would have married me to the rotten meddler.
Sir, your company is fairer than honest. Rest you well.
Now, I will go with you to the end of the lane. I'm a kind of burr friar. I shall stick. Come on now.
Every letter he hath writ hath disvouched other.
In most uneven and distracted manner. His actions show much like to madness, for heaven his wisdom be not tainted. And why should we meet him at the gates and deliver our authorities there?
I guess not.
And why should we proclaim it in an hour before his entering, that if any crave redress of injustice, they should exhibit their petitions in the streets?
He shows his reasons for that, and to have a dispatch of complaints, to deliver us from devices hereafter, and so then we shall not be stopped or honored.
I pray you, therefore, let it be proclaimed. Times in the morn, I'll call you at your house. Give notice to such men of sort and suit as are to meet him.
I shall, sir, fare you well.
Good night. This deed unshapes me quite. Makes me unpregnant and dull to all proceedings. A deflowered maid, and by an eminent body that enforced the law against it. But that her tender shame will not proclaim against her maiden loss. How she might tongue me. He should have lived. Save that his riotous youth, with dangerous sense, might in the times to come have taken revenge by so receiving a dishonored life with ransom of such shame. Would yet he had lived. Alack! When once our grace we have forgot, nothing goes right. We would, and we would not.
These letters at fit time deliver me. Now the provost knows our purpose and our plot. The matter being afoot, keep your instruction and hold you ever to our special drift. Though you do blench from this to that as caused as minister.
It shall be speeded well.
To speak so indirectly, I am loath. I would say the truth, but to accuse him, that is your part. Yet I must do it, he says, to veil for full purpose.
Be ruled by him.
Besides, he tells me that if peradventure he speak against me on the adverse side, I should not think it strange, for 'tis a physic that is bitter to sweet end.
Would Friar Peter...
Oh, peace, the friar has come.
Come, I have found ye out to stand most fit, where you'll have such vantage on the Duke, you shall not pass him. The bells have rung twice, the generous and grave citizens have hent the gates, and very near upon the Duke is entering, therefore hence away.
My very worthy cousin, fairly met. Our old and faithful friend, we are glad to see you.
Happy return be to your royal grace.
Many and hearty thankings to you both. I've made inquiry of you, and I hear such goodness of your justice that my heart cannot but yield you forth to public thanks.
You make my bond still greater.
Oh, your desert speaks loud, and I should wrong it to keep it locked in the wards of covert bosom, when it deserves with characters of brat, afforded residence against the tooth of time and razor of oblivion.
Justice, O royal Duke! Veil your regard upon a wronged, I would fain have said a maid. O worthy prince, dishonor not your eye by throwing it on any other object, till you have heard me in my true complaint, and given me justice, 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 justice.
Relay your wrongs. In what? By whom? Be brief. Here's Lord Angelo shall give you justice. Reveal yourself to him.
O worthy Duke, you bid me seek redemption of the devil. Hear me yourself, for that which I must speak must either punish me not being believed, or wring redress from you. Hear me, oh, hear me here.
My lord, her wits, I fear me, are not firm. She hath been a suitor to me for her brother cut off by course of justice.
By course of justice.
And she will speak most bitterly. Strange.
Most strange, but yet most truly will I speak. That Angelo's forsworn. Is it not strange? That Angelo's a murderer. Is it not strange? That Angelo's an adulterous thief, a hypocrite, a virgin violator. Is it not strange and strange?
Nay, it is 10 times strange.
It is not truer he is Angelo. Then this is all as true as it is strange. Nay, it is 10 times true. For truth is truth to the end of reckoning.
Away with her, poor soul. She speaks this in the infirmity of sense.
O Prince, I conjure thee, as thou believest there is another comfort than this world, that thou neglect me not with that opinion that I am touched with madness. Make not impossible that which does seem unlike.
By mine honesty, if she be mad, as I believe no other, her madness hath the oddest frame of sense, such dependency of thing on thing as e'er I heard in madness. Well, proceed.
I am the sister of one Claudio, condemned upon the act of fornication to lose his head, condemned by Angelo. I, in probation of a sisterhood, was sent to by my brother, one Lucio, as then the messenger.
And like your lordship, I was sent to by Claudio to desire her to try her fortune for her poor brother's pardon.
That's he indeed.
You were not bid to speak.
No, my lord, nor was I bid to hold my peace.
I bid you now then. Take note of it, and when you have a business for yourself, pray you then be perfect.
What? I warrant, Your Honor.
The warrants for yourself? Take heed to it.
This gentleman told somewhat of my tale.
Right.
It may be right, but you were in the wrong to speak before your time. Proceed.
I went to this pernicious caitiff deputy.
Well, that's somewhat madly spoken.
Pardon it, the phrase is to the matter.
Ah, mend it again. The matter, proceed.
In brief, to set the needless process by, how I persuaded, how I prayed and kneeled, how he repelled me, how I replied, for this was of much length. The vile conclusion I now begin with grief and shame to utter. He would not, but by gift of my chaste body to his intemperate lust, release my brother. And after much debatement, my sisterly remorse confutes mine honor, and I did yield to him. But the next morn betimes, his purpose surfeiting, he sends a warrant for my poor brother's head.
This is most likely.
Oh, that it were as like as it were true.
By heaven, fond wretch, thou knowest not what thou speakst, or else art suborned against his honor by some more mightier power. This must needs be a practice. Say by whose advice thou camest hither to complain.
And is this all? Then, oh, you blessed ministers above, keep me in patience, and with ripened time unfold the evil, which is here wrapped up in countenance. Heaven shield your grace from woe, as I thus wronged, hence unbelieved go.
Oh, I know you'd fain be gone to prison with her. Shall we thus permit a slanderous blast upon him so near our love? This must needs be a practice. Tell me, who knew of your intent in coming hither?
One that I would were here, Friar Lodowick.
A ghostly father, belike. Who knows that Lodowick?
My lord, I know him, a meddling friar, and I do not like the man. And had he been lay for certain speeches he had made against your lordship in your retirement, I had swinged him soundly.
No words against me. This is a good friar, belike, and to set on this wretched woman against our substitute. Let this friar be found!
Nay, but yesternight, my lord, at the prison, I saw her and him talking. It is a rotten friar, a scurvy fellow.
Blessed be your royal grace. I have stood by, my lord, and I have heard your royal ear abused. First hath this woman most wrongfully accused your substitute, who is as free from touch or soil from her as she from one ungot.
We did think no less. Know you that Friar Lodowick she speaks of?
I know him for a man divine and holy, not scurvy nor a temporary meddler as he's reported by this gentleman.
Most villainously, my lord, believe it.
Well, he may in time come to clear himself, but at this moment, my lord, he is sick of a strange fever. Upon his mere request, having come to knowledge that there was complaint intended against Lord Angelo, come I hither to speak as from his mouth. First for this woman, to justify this noble gentleman, so wrongfully and personally accused. Her shall you here disprove to her very eyes until she herself confess it.
Oh, good friar, let's hear it. Do you not smile at this, Lord Angelo? Oh, heavens, the vanity of wretched fools. Come, Cousin Angelo, in this I'll be impartial. Be you the judge of your own cause. Is this the witness, friar? Well, first let her show her face and after speak.
Pardon, my lord. I will not show my face until my husband bid me.
Well, what, are you married?
No, my lord.
Are you a maid?
No, my lord.
Oh, a widow, then?
Neither, my lord.
Why, then you are nothing, neither maid, widow, nor wife.
My lord, she may be a punk, for they are not a maid, widow, nor wife.
Wait, silence that fella. I would he had some business to prattle for himself.
Well, my lord.
My lord, I do confess I ne'er was married, and I confess the same, I am no maid. I have known my husband, yet my husband knows not that ever he knew me.
My lord, he must have been drunk then. It can be no better.
For the benefit of silence, wouldst thou wert so too?
Well, my lord.
This is no witness for Lord Angelo.
Now I come to it, my lord. She that accuses him of fornication in selfsame manner doth accuse my husband, and charges him, my lord, with such a time when I'll depose I had him in mine arms with all the effect of love.
Charges she more than me?
Not that I know.
No, you say your husband.
Why, just, my lord. And that is Angelo, who thinks he knows that he ne'er knew my body, but knows he thinks that he knows Isabel's.
This is a strange abuse. Let's see thy face.
My husband bids me. Now I will unmask. This is that face, thou cruel Angelo, which once thou sworest was worth the looking on. This is the hand which with avowed contract was fast belocked in thine. This is the body that took away the match from Isabel, and did supply thee in thy garden house in her imagined person.
Know you this woman?
Carnally, she says.
No more.
Enough, my lord, enough.
My lord, I must confess I do know this woman, and 5 years since there was some speech of marriage betwixt myself and her, which was broke off, partly for that her promised proportions came short of composition, but in chief for that her reputation was disvalued in levity. Since which time of 5 years I never spake with her, saw her, nor heard from her, upon my faith and honor.
Noble prince, as there comes light from heaven and words from breath, as there is sense in truth and truth in virtue, I am affianced this man's wife as strongly as words could make up vows. And, my good lord, but Tuesday night last gone in his garden house, he knew me as a wife. As this is true, let me in safety raise me from my knees, or else forever be confixed here a marble monument.
I did but smile till now. Now, good my lord, give me the scope of justice. My patience here is touched. I do perceive these poor, informal women are no more but instruments of some more mightier member that sets them on. Let me have way, my lord, to find this practice out.
Aye, with my heart, and punish them to the height of your pleasure. You, Lord Aeschylus, sit with my cousin, lend him your kind pains in finding out these abuses, whence 'tis derived. There was another friar, set them on. Let him be sent for.
Would he were here, my lord, for he indeed has set these women to this complaint. Your provost knows the place where he abides, and she may fetch him.
Oh, have her do it instantly. And as for you, my noble and well-warranted cousin, do with your abuses as seems you best in any chastisement. I, for a while, will leave you, but stir not you till you've well determined upon these slanderers.
My lord will do it throughly. Signor Lucio, did you not say you knew that friar Lodovic to be a dishonest person?
Cucullis non facit menacum, my lord. Honest in nothing but his clothes, and one that hath spoke most villainously of the duke.
We shall entreat you to abide here till he come and enforce them against him. We shall find this father to be a notable fellow.
As any in Vienna, upon my word.
Call that same Isabel here once again. I would speak with her. I pray you, my lord, give me leave to question. You will see how I handle her.
No better than he by her own report.
Say you?
Milady, I think if you handled her privately, she would more sooner confess. Perhaps publicly she'll be ashamed.
I will go darkly to work with her.
Ah, that's the way for women on light at midnight.
Come, mistress. This gentlewoman denies all you have said.
Oh, my lord, here he comes. This is the rascal that I told you of, here with the promise.
Oh, in very good time. Speak not you to him till we call upon you. Come, sir. Did you set these gentlemen on to slander Lord Angelo? They have confessed you did.
'Tis false.
Know you where you are?
Where's the Duke? 'Tis he should hear me speak.
The Duke's in us, and we will hear you speak. Look, you speak justly.
Boldly, at least. But oh, poor souls, come you here to seek the lamb of the fox? Good night to your address. The Duke's unjust, thus to retort your manifest appeal, and put your trial in the villain's mouth which here you came to accuse.
My lord, this is the rascal that I spoke of.
Why, thou unreverend and unhallowed friar, it's not enough thou hast suborned these women to accuse this worthy man, but in foul mouth and in the witness of his proper ear to call him villain? Take him hence to the rack with him. We'll touse him joint by joint, but we shall know his purpose. What? Unjust!
Be not so hot. The Duke dare no more stretch this finger of mine than he dare rack his own. My business in this state hath made me a looker-on here in Vienna, where I have seen corruption boil and bubble till it o'errun the stew. Laws for all faults, but faults so countenanced that the strict statutes stand like forfeits in a barber shop, as much in mock as mark.
Slander to the state, away with him to prison.
What can you vouch against him, Signor Lucio? Is this the man that you did tell us of?
Oh, this is he, my lord. Come hither, good men bald pate. Dost thou know me?
Oh, I remember you, sir, by the sound of your voice. I met you at the prison in the absence of the Duke.
Oh, did you so? And do you remember what you then said of the Duke?
Most notedly, sir.
Oh, do you so? And was he a fleshmonger, a fool, and a coward, as thou then reportst him to be?
You must, sir, change persons with me ere you make that my report. What? You indeed spoke so of him, and much more, much worse.
What, thou damnable fellow, did not I pluck thee thou at the nose for thy villainous speeches?
I protest I love the Duke as I love myself.
Hark, how the villain would close now, after his treasonable abuses.
Such a fellow is not to be talked with all. Away with him to prison. Where's the provost?
No, stay, provost, stay a while.
What resists he? Help her, Lucio.
Come, sir, come, sir, come, sir, fool, sir. You must be hooded, must you? Come, show your sheep-fighting visage and be hanged after. Oh.
First, provost, let me bail these gentle three. Sneak not away, sir, for you and the friar must have some words anon.
This may prove worse than hanging.
What you have spoke, I pardon. Sir, by your leave, hast thou or word, or wit, or impudence that yet can do the office? If thou hast, rely upon it till my tale be heard, and then hold no longer out.
Oh, my dread lord, I should be guiltier than my guiltiness to think I can be undiscernible. When I perceive your grace, my power divine, and looked upon my passage, then, good prince, no longer session hold upon my shame, but let my trial be mine own confession. Immediate sentence, then, and secret death is all the grace I beg.
Come hither, Mariana. Say, was thou e'er contracted to this woman?
I was, my lord.
Go, take her hence and marry her instantly. Do you the office, friar, which consummate bring him here again.
My lord, I am more amazed at his dishonor than at the strangeness of it.
Come hither, Isabella. Your friar is now your prince. No, as I was then, I am still attorneyed at your service.
Oh, give me pardon, that I, your vassal, have employed and pained your unknown sovereignty.
Oh, you are pardoned, Isabella. Now, dear may be you as free with us. Your brother's death, I know, sticks at your heart, but peace be with him. For this new married man entering here, you must pardon for Mariana's sake. But, as he had judged your brother, the very mercy of the law cries out, most audible even from his proper tongue. And Angelo for Claudio, death for death. Haste still pays haste, and leisure answers leisure. Like doth quit like, and measure still for measure. Then Angelo, thy faults thus manifested, we do condemn thee to the very block where Claudio stooped to die, and with like haste, away with him.
My most gracious lord, I hope you will not mock me with a husband.
It is your husband mocked you with a husband. As for his possessions, although by confiscation they are ours, we do instate and widow you withal to buy you a better husband.
Oh, my most gracious lord, I crave no other nor no better man.
You'll never crave him, we are definitive.
Gentle my liege.
You do but lose your labor. Away with him to death. And now, sir, to you.
My good lord! Isabel, take my part, lend me your knees, and all my life to come, I'll lend you all my life to do you service.
Against all sense do you importune her. Should she kneel down in this fact, her brother's ghost his paved bed would break and take her horse hence in horror.
Isabel, sweet Isabel, do yet but kneel by me, hold up thy hand, say nothing, I'll speak all. They say best men are molded out of faults, and for the most become much more the better for being a little bad. Sweet Isabel, will you not lend a knee?
He dies for Claudio's death.
Most bounteous sir, look if it please you on this man condemned as if my brother lived. I partly think a due sincerity governed his deeds till he did look on me. Since it is so, let him not die. My brother had justice in that he did the thing for which he died. For Angelo, his act did not o'ertake his bad intent, and must be buried but as an intent that perished by the way. Thoughts are no subjects, intents but merely thoughts.
Merely, my lord.
Your suit's unprofitable. Stand up, I say. I have bethought me of another fault. Provost, how came it that Claudio was beheaded at an unusual hour?
It was commanded so.
Had you a special warrant for the deed?
No, my good lord, it was by private message.
For the which I do discharge you of your office. Give up your keys.
Pardon me, noble lord. I thought it was a fault, but knew it not, and yet did repent me after much advice. The testimony whereof, one in the prison that should by private message else have died, I have reserved alive.
What's he?
His name is Barnardine.
It's done so for Claudio. Go fetch him hither. Let me look upon him.
I am sorry one so learned and so wise as you, Lord Angelo, have still appeared, should slip so grossly, both in the heat of blood and lack of tempered judgment afterward.
I am sorry that such sorrow I procure. And so deep sticks it in my penitent heart that I crave death more willingly than mercy. 'Tis my deserving, and I do entreat it.
Which is that Barnardine?
This, my lord.
The friar told me of this fellow. Gentlemen, you are said to have a stubborn soul that apprehends no further than this world and squares thy life according. Thou art condemned. But for those earthly faults I quit them all and pray you. Take this mercy to provide for better times to come. Friar, I leave him in your hands. What muffled fellow's that?
This is another prisoner that I saved who should have died when Claudio lost his head. The like almost to Claudio as himself.
Well, if he be like your brother, for his sake is he pardoned. And for your lovely sake, give me your hand and say you will be mine. He's my brother too. But fitter time for that. By this, Lord Angelo perceives he's safe. Methinks I see a quickening in his eye. Well, Angelo, your evil quits you well. Look, you love your wife, her worth yours. I find an apt remission in myself, and yet, here's one in place I cannot pardon. You, Sirrah, you knew me for a fool, a coward, one all of luxury, an ass, a madman.
Wherein have I so deserved of you that you extol me thus?
My lord, I spoke it but according to the trick. If you wish to hang me for it, you may.
Thank you.
But I had rather it would please your lordship I might be whipped.
Whipped first, sir, and hanged after. Proclaim it, pros, round about the city. If any woman be wronged by this lewd fellow, as I have heard him swear himself, there's one he got with child, let her appear, and he shall marry her. The nuptial finished, let him be whipped and hanged.
That one's mine! Oh, my lord, do not marry me to a punk. Thou saidst even now I made you a duke. Do not recompense me by making me a cuckold.
By mine honor thou shalt marry her. Thy slanders I forgive, and therewithal remit thy other forfeits. Go, provost, take him to the prison and see our pleasure herein executed.
No, my lord, marrying a punk, it's hanging, whipping, and pressing all together.
Slandering a prince deserves it. She, Claudio, that you wronged, see you restore. Joy to you, Mariana. Love her, Angelo. I have confessed her, and I know her goodness. Thanks, good friend Aeschylus, for thy much goodness. Dear Isabella, I have a motion much imports your good, whereto if you'll willing ear incline, what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lisa Coffey.
Fantastic job, guys. Thank you all so much for watching this evening's performance of Measure for Measure, and we do hope you take the opportunity to make reservations for our next couple of shows. Coming up, we've got Richard 2, Richard 3, and then Love's Labor's Lost, of course. So online, shakespearebythesea.org. You can do that and more online. All right, guys, so you know I wouldn't be able to present these productions without the absolutely fabulous folks you see here on stage with me this evening, the Shakespeare by the Sea actors. They are fabulous, yes. So I know. In addition to your applause, virtual applause, of course, and your admiration, we ask that you go online and donate to the Actors Fund now. All it takes is a few clicks. We'd be ever so grateful. All right, guys, so other than that, we ask that you show your support to Shakespeare by the Sea and tell your friends about the always free
Shakespeare by the Sea!
Thanks for watching. Good night.
So, what's the sound in that last act? Just brutal?
Is it?
I mean, we got the car all around.
It's just like doing a normal Shakespeare by the Sea show.
Yeah, you should put a note in the